Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Now, NFL Cowboys news. If you're a fan of America's team, then this is one video you won't want to miss. Today, we're diving deep into one of the biggest stories currently surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. Micah Parsons, the game-changing linebacker, is ready to get aggressive in free agency. Yes, you heard that right. The young star is making moves, and it's got the Cowboys front office on high alert. But what does this mean for the team? Will they be able to keep their defensive cornerstone, or could we see the next big defensive star leave Dallas for greener pastures? In this video, we're going to break it all down. What does Micah Parsons mean to the Cowboys right now? What could happen with his contract situation? And why is he ready to make a big splash in free agency? Plus, we'll dive into what the Cowboys front office needs to do to keep him on the roster, and how this could shape the future of the franchise. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of the latest updates on the Cowboys. Let's get into it. Before we get into the juicy details of his contract situation and potential free agency, let's talk about why Micah Parsons is such a big deal in the NFL. This guy is an absolute phenomenon. Parsons was drafted 12th overall by the Dallas Cowboys in 2021, and he's been nothing short of spectacular ever since. In his first season, Parsons burst onto the scene, registering 13 sacks and quickly establishing himself as one of the premier edge rushers in the league. His ability to disrupt the quarterback and create havoc in the backfield is second to none. And it wasn't just about rushing the passer. Parsons has a rare combination of speed, agility, and awareness that allows him to be a menace in coverage too. Parsons is a true defensive weapon. He's so versatile that the Cowboys can line him up as a linebacker, edge rusher, or even in the secondary on occasion. Think about it, how many players in the NFL can play every defensive position at a high level? Not many. Whether it's sacking the quarterback, chasing down running backs, or covering tight ends, Parsons is everywhere. And this is why, over the past few seasons, he's become one of the most feared defenders in the league. He's proven that he has the potential to be one of the greatest linebackers in NFL history, and his future is only getting brighter. Now that we've established just how dominant Micah Parsons is, let's get into the business side of things. Parsons is entering the fourth and final year of his rookie contract. This is a crucial year for him, and he knows it. To put things into perspective, Parsons is currently making $3.3 million in the final year of his rookie contract, which is a bargain considering his production. Let's compare that to some of the highest paid linebackers in the NFL, like Fred Warner of the San Francisco 49ers or Roquan Smith of the Baltimore Ravens, both of whom make north of $19 million per year. Now, Parsons is coming off a season where he earned his second consecutive Pro Bowl nod, and some would argue that he's already on track to become the league's top defender. So, it's only logical for him to seek a huge payday. Parsons has put himself in a position to not just ask for a raise, but to demand one of the highest salaries among all defensive players in the league. A new deal could easily surpass $25 million per year, and depending on how the market plays out, he could even eclipse that. After all, players like Aaron Donald and TJ Watt have shown that defensive stars can earn massive contracts, and Parsons' potential is limitless. So, what does this mean for the Cowboys? Well, it means they need to make a decision fast. If they don't lock Parsons down before his rookie deal expires, he could become a free agent, and that's when the bidding war would begin. And trust me, there will be suitors. Here's where things get even more interesting. Parsons has openly stated that he plans to be aggressive in free agency. Now, this doesn't just mean that he's going to get paid. What it indicates is that he's taking control of his future and isn't willing to just settle for what's offered to him. When you hear a player of Parsons' caliber talk like this, it's a clear sign that he's ready to take charge of his career. He's not just waiting for the Cowboys to offer him a fair deal. He's ready to test the waters and see what other teams are willing to give him. But here's the catch: the Cowboys know that once he enters free agency, they could lose him to another team willing to give him that massive contract. The reality is, Parsons has become so valuable that the Cowboys front office is likely sweating a little bit right now. With Parsons looming free agency, you can bet the Cowboys front office is on high alert. Jerry Jones and his team are facing a dilemma that could change the direction of the franchise. The good news is that the Cowboys have the financial flexibility to get a deal done, but it's going to take some clever cap management. As it stands, the Cowboys have just over $10 million in cap space for 2025. That might seem like a lot, but when you consider the other players they need to re-sign like Trayvon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, and Dak Prescott, that number doesn't go very far. What makes this situation even trickier is that the Cowboys want to remain competitive while locking up their star players. That means they need to make decisions about who stays and who goes. And that's where the chess game begins. The Cowboys can potentially free up some cap room by restructuring contracts for veterans like DeMarcus Lawrence, or cutting players who are no longer as valuable to the team. But there's no doubt about it, Micah Parsons is their top priority. The question is, how aggressive will they be in locking him down before other teams can swoop in? If Micah Parsons does decide to test free agency, there are a few teams that would make perfect sense as suitors. Teams like the Chicago Bears, New York Giants, and Cleveland Browns all have young, developing rosters, but they're missing one key ingredient: a dominant defensive force. The Bears, for example, are in the middle of a rebuild, but they have the cap space and defensive needs to make a splash in free agency. Adding a player like Parsons could immediately elevate their defense. Similarly, the New York Giants have been quietly building a strong defense under head coach Brian Daboll, and with a massive cap space advantage, they could make Parsons their centerpiece. But what about the Cleveland Browns? The Browns are another team with a strong defensive foundation, and they've been actively looking to improve their pass rush. Adding Parsons to their lineup could be the missing piece to take them from playoff contender to Super Bowl contender. So, what are the Cowboys going to do about all this? Well, their next move is crucial. They can't afford to lose Micah Parsons, so they'll need to do everything they can to keep him. But how do they do that while still managing to build a competitive roster? The most likely move is for the Cowboys to begin restructuring contracts. They could start with Dak Prescott, who's currently the highest paid player on the team, and convert some of his salary into signing bonuses to free up more cap space. Additionally, they could make tough decisions about players like DeMarcus Lawrence and Tyron Smith, who are still playing at a high level but carry significant cap hits. But whatever they do, the Cowboys need to make sure they don't alienate their star player. Micah Parsons is the future of the defense, and he's earned the right to be compensated as such. As we head into the offseason, one thing is clear: Micah Parsons is ready to make a major impact, whether that's with the Dallas Cowboys or another team. The Cowboys front office has a lot of work ahead of them to make sure they don't lose one of the league's most dynamic players. What do you think, Cowboys Nation? Will Micah Parsons stay in Dallas, or will he test the waters in free agency? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breaking news and updates on America's team.